Is there any chance that Crixus could defeat Spartacus in a one-on-one fight during the series? Well, the answer is generally no, but it all depends on the specific timeline we consider. After Crixus faced the formidable Theokoles, he was forever changed, never able to reach his peak again, even in the last season, owing to drastically different circumstances. In the gladiatorial world, one is constantly honing their skills through daily fights and rigorous training, but as a free man in a rebellion, Crixus didn't have to prove himself like a gladiator would. When Spartacus first arrived at the Lotus, Crixus was indeed superior, and even in their encounter in episode 3, Spartacus was defeated. However, it's crucial to note that the Spartacus of that time was nowhere near as strong as he became at the end of the series, or during his peak in Season 1. Now, let's envision a duel between Spartacus and Crixus right after the Theokoles fight, with both of their freshest and in peak condition. In such a scenario, Crixus might hold a chance, because this Spartacus was still not at his peak and, still fresh after the fight and didn't properly converse into the dlagiator two-sword fighting style yet. But Spartacus from episode 8, after accepting his fate as Spartacus and purely fighting for entertainment as well, this Spartacus would likely always win against Crixus even at his peak, because there he already honed his skills to the max, almost. In the Season 1 final, Crixus could stand his grounds against Spartacus, as we saw, even while poisoned, but that was because Spartacus wasn't trying to harm him and was waiting for Mira's signal for the escape plan. In a fair and unpoisoned match against Season 1 Spartacus, Crixus might have a fighting chance, but most would still bet on Spartacus to emerge victorious. And as for the Spartacus we see in the last season, well, there's no denying that he's a formidable force, unbeaten since his days in the Lotus, and would not lose to Crixus, no matter when and where. While the battle between Crixus and Spartacus could be a sight to behold, it's highly likely that Crixus would be annihilated by Spartacus in a one-on-one confrontation, as much as it saddens me to say. Spartacus was a calculated and strategic fighter, capable of taking down top champions and standing his grounds against the formidable Gannicus with ease. In conclusion, Spartacus would likely emerge as a victor in any encounter of them, especially at their respective peaks. So while we can imagine the thrill of such a showdown, the odds would undoubtedly favor the champion of the arena, Spartacus. Now there was one more event I wanted to talk about, and that was between the battle of Crixus and Gannicus and Spartacus and Gannicus. When Gannicus fought Spartacus, Gannicus was enraged because Spartacus told him loyalties and qualities unfamiliar with. This enraged Gannicus because of his past events with Melita and Animes. And Spartacus wasn't even serious or, directly trying to hurt Gannicus in that fight, and he still managed to hold his ground against an enraged Gannicus. Whereas Crixus lost to Gannicus because Gannicus clearly let him win. It was always implied in such a way that Gannicus was always superior to Crixus, and that Crixus never reached the peaks Gannicus had in terms of physical prowess. Anyways, this was basically the conclusion. Crixus stands no chance against the peak Spartacus in any given scenario.